What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Daily Misfire. We have plans. Big plans, and it's awesome. So, I am wearing my Blasphemy sweatshirt in honor of what I'm about to tell you. 2023, we are going to Drag Week. Yeah, buddy. You might have already seen the post on Instagram about it. Let me switch hands a little bit because this arm was dying. You might have already seen the post on Instagram that, Nova Drag Week. Yes, it's happening. And yeah, so I signed up for Drag Week 2023 Saturday. That was a cluster in a handbasket. It opens up and closes in like 2 minutes kind of thing. That was very stressful, but I got in. So we're going to be running the street, I think it's Eliminator class is what it's called, which is bracket racing. So that class basically it has a 10-second max index on it. And anyone that runs 10-0 or slower can be in that class. And you run throughout the week. And then they average out your passes overall. And that becomes your dial-in. A 10th faster than that becomes your dial-in. And then you can't change it, but then you're broken into a 32-car shootout. Pro Tree bracket racing, which is pretty sick. One thing I'm stressed about is I've never ran Pro Tree. And another thing that I'm stressed about is the engine that we're planning on running in the Nova isn't even together yet. And it's March 28th today. April 15th is the first testing tune at Bristol. And we haven't gotten the car aligned. The rear suspension hasn't been driven on. I don't have tires. Not chires. I don't know whatever that word was. And the engine is completely disassembled. Now, saying that, the Nova does run. And it can drive. Now, albeit one wheel looks like it's a NASCAR wheel, and its outside tire is really lowered. I'm going to turn very grainy right now because we're dark in here. But 283 is in the Nova. It does run and drive. It's a 283. It runs 1580s, which is cool. But we have bigger, better plans. So, what are those plans? Pardon the desk here. Caltrack bars, split monoleafs in the back. Prime. The scary part about the car right now is the 700R4 that's in it. I have never put real power to it. It's gonna be fine. And if it isn't, we wish it was. So, the little heart that's going back in it is that one. Yes, this is the 350 that has I don't want to know how many passes on, at least 600 passes on this engine the last 3 years. That is the one that ran 1340s. Best ever in the car. It had the double hump heads, FI Tech EFI with a Torquer 2 intake, and it has a 270 comp cam in it at this moment. Now, saying that at this moment, I have a set of 195cc blueprint heads that'll go on it. I have an Offenhauser Port Osonic intake, which is like a Torquer, but it's taller, so more plenum volume, which means faster. Potentially. I don't really know that. And I have an FI Tech system that I've never used on the Nova before, but they're awesome enough to give it to me, so I need to use it. I was going to use it on the Dually, and we ran out of time, so it's going on the Nova, the next little bit. So, that intake, FI Tech, heads, top end on this engine is going to be Prime. I have some ARP bolt goodies that are going to go into this. But the thing that's going to make this thing really go is I have a Trick Flow, I know, pardon me for saying this, non-roller hydraulic flat tappet cam. That's going to be going into this engine with Crowler lifters. I think with the 1.6 roller rockers I plan on using, it should make 520, 534 intake duration lift, which means it, can roll to, 6,500 if it wants to. It never will touch 6,500 unless we're really trying to run someone down, and I'm, wanting to kick rods out or risking kicking rods out. It's going to be there. So, yeah, so that's the plan with this engine. Literally a stock bottom end. I'm going to pull the pistons out. We're going to pull the rotating assembly out of this engine. We'll check the block to make sure it's okay, because the reason why this engine got pulled out was I think the cam was going flat in it, or something was going on, and it was metal was going through the engine, and I didn't want to risk anything else happening to it, so we just decided to forego everything and just put the 283 back in the Nova, which is why it's in the Nova today, because we wanted to drive the Nova. So all that to say, this engine will be going back in the car hopefully in the next month. And then we have a whole hornswoggle, yes, I said hornswoggle, of cylinder heads right here that will be put on this engine, which is a 307. This is a miracle little engine. I'll have a story about this engine later. Not today, but this engine has ran 1380s in the past, with a set of Camaro heads that's over here somewhere. But yeah, little 307 guy. So this engine will be put together, and then when that's going on, I may end up taking the 283 apart, or may not. I'm not really sure. But the plan with that engine is I have a 280 comp cam, which is a 280, or 480 straight duration cam. That is basically the same combination that went 1380s in that engine. So we have that cam to go into it, and we have a better set of heads over here that will go onto it. And that way, hopefully, that engine will be a good backup engine in case anything happens to the 350. So that's kind of the plan with that. And I want to get the engine and the car together before the first test and tune street legal drags at Bristol, because I need literally as many passes as I can possibly get in this car. We had to drive the absolute snot out of this car because we're going on a 1,000-mile road trip, 5 stops, with all these really crazy guys, and I don't want to look like a boob, essentially. We don't want to look like idiots rolling out there. We need to see if that 700R4 will hold up to everything, because it's a stock engine. Theoretically, it should be okay. We have a torque converter that is a little bit, stally, so it's like 2600 stall. So that should help it, be a little bit looser. I have no idea if that's at all right. I'm just saying that. It's probably dead wrong, and someone's going to tell me that. That's fine. I know nothing. I'm an idiot. But with that being said, I have to learn how to, adjust CalTrack bars. We have to learn how to do a whole bunch of stuff on this car. Adjust the front suspension because we have single adjustable shocks now. Adjust the rear suspension because it's all different. It's going to be good. Not to mention the fact that Bristol has their points season happening very soon, and we have to go run that too. So, a whole lot of running again for this Nova. Not nearly as much as it was in California this year, because we're not running every single week like how we were with Wednesday nights. We were running literally every single week, and it was like 8 or 9 passes a night. And that's why we would go through 2 sets of tires a year, the year that we ran everything. So we'll get the Nova together, get suspension figured out, get the engine in it, get transmission resolved one way or another. Either I kick, third, second, first gear out of it and, grenade it, and we have to get a new one, or it goes, I got this, I'm fine, and we have it for the entire however long it lives. So I know for a fact the rear end of it is going to be good. We have a great old Eaton posi in there. We have, good Moser axles in it, and a whole bunch of other stuff. But I want to say all that to say basically, and I'm wearing a Blasphemy sweatshirt because everyone supports Finnegan and everything he does, and it's super cool, me included. And in order to get to Drag Week and have money to do it, I would love for all of you guys to, one, just subscribe and like this video, because literally every single subscription we get will help get to that monetization, and that will help immensely. I was monetized on Instagram for a little bit with Reels, and that helped a lot, and then I got I don't know what happened to that. So it stopped monetizing me for some reason. I stopped getting the bonus. So sad. But, and it happened, of course, right as I was getting like $200, $300 a month out of it. And I was like, this is good. And then it said, you don't get this anymore. And so, all that to say, please check out the Instagram. Please check out the YouTube. Subscribe to this channel. And on top of that, I'll put a link in the bio to our Etsy store. And hopefully in the next couple weeks, we should have an actual website devoted to the Daily Misfire, devoted to apparel, blog writing, and some other really cool stuff that I'll try to do. I'll try to link a couple magazines into it. Some buddies of mine will try to link some of their products too into it. Just really make a really cool thing. So I'll make sure to keep all you guys updated on that. And hopefully check in with you guys really soon, because there's like 30,000 things going on this year. Last year was crazy moving out to Tennessee. So now we're here. Now we got to start working on building the dream. That was a very corny thing to say. But I did. So in a nutshell, help support the Nova. Buy apparel like you did for Finnegan. It'll help me out a lot. Everything you buy is, $4 or $5 here and there. So if you buy, say $60 worth of stuff, I get, $10 out of it. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, so we got that going. We got a whole lot of stuff going on. I'm very stoked for this year, and I can't wait for everything to go on. Not to mention I'm getting married this month, or not this month, this year. So yeah, it's gonna be a hell of a year. With that, I'll see you guys later.